Hello brothers and sisters, welcome to another episode here on Dangerous African Confessions HD. In this episode, we have a story from our sister Lesedi, who comes from South Africa, and had gone to a church program and she met this pastor. She tells us about her encounter with this African pastor, and the evil things the pastor and two of his friends did to her.
I fear I might not be able to conceive if I want to give birth. Why do I say that? After my painful encounter with the pastor and his friends, I became pregnant and I told the pastor about it. He said, how can I tell him such thing? Because he is not the only one who has had sex or slept with me. And he knows the fact that his two other friends also made love to me. So, how is it that I was only targeting him and not his friends? This was when I realized the three of them made love to me.
There is more in this captivating story that Lesedi shares with us. The kind of life and the things these pastors do to perpetuate their evil intentions. Now, she is experiencing problems in her life, and she is attributing it to the pastor as the cause of her problems. As part of our policy, I've edited the names to hide the identity. Without wasting much of your time, let's go and listen to the story.
Hello brother, I hope everything is well with you and your team. I wanted to tell you about my problem and maybe use my story as a learning tool for my fellow sisters out there. And if even possible my brothers out there, because some guys also fall victim to this. I am in my 20s and a very hardworking young lady. My family, we didn't have enough money to see me through school, so right after high school, I decided to enter the street and hustle for myself. I didn't want to put all my burdens on my parents. So, in just about my early 20s, I became a Maland, as we call street people here in Durban. Life on the streets was not easy for me from the beginning, but then I had no option than to force my way through. As time went by, I became a food salesperson on the streets of Durban. I was very determined to make it through means that was okay for me. I hustled and hustled for my boss. But then out of nowhere, one day as I went to work, I was told I was not needed again. That month's pay was given to me. But then, this was a very big blow for me. Even though I knew what I wanted to do for myself, I had no idea this day would come soon like that. I was disappointed and devastated. I had to find my way again. You see, on the streets, we were like family. So sometimes I will go and help out with work for some people and they will give me something at the end of the day. At times too, I was selling cigarettes and other substances that make you high. This I was getting the goods from the top people on the streets, and when I sell, I will get my cut. I did this for some time, and there was this particular lady who I became close with. She was the owner of one of the shops along the street. She one day told me that her pastor was good. And it is the help of the pastor that she has the shop. I wasn't into this pastor's thing. But the way she spoke highly of the pastor, I decided to go to the church with her. Maybe, like she was saying, God can use the pastor to turn things around for me. So, they were having a crusade and we went to the program. The pastor said nothing to me during the service. When the service was over, my friend asked me to wait for her, because she was going to see if we can get the chance to speak with the pastor. In about 10 to 15 minutes or so, she returned smiling. She said the pastor had agreed to meet with us, so I should be rest assured that everything will be fine. We spent like almost 1 hour and I was even getting angry that we should go back. After a while, a young guy who I think serves at the church came and called us that the pastor is ready to see us. When we entered the pastor's office, it was obvious they know themselves. He just mentioned her name and she did the introduction. She introduces me as her friend. Someone she met on the street and has been close for a while. After the introduction, the pastor asked why I left home and decided to be on the streets. So, I told him of the situation back home and why I made that decision to come and struggle. He prayed for me and told me that he was going to help me financially. So, I can start something of my own. After everything, He said that I was supposed to be his member if I want him to help me. So, without hesitation, I told him I was ready. He called one of his workers to come and take my details. He saw us out and we came back. I went to the church with my friend the next Sunday and the pastor didn't say anything about his promise to help me start something. So, the following weekdays, when we were at the street, I asked the lady when the pastor was going to honor his promise. She told me not to worry, because, once he has made that promise, he will give me the money. I wanted to start something and make some money to go and help my people back home. I remember it was about a month after my meeting with the pastor when my friend came with the news that the pastor had asked her to come with her to a program that he was having in Omlotsi. She said, the pastor told her, he will give me the money when he is done with the program.
Please kindly subscribe, share and like our videos. Kindly hit the notification bell so you will be the first to get notification to our videos when we upload. Thank you and let's get back to the story.
She said, the pastor told her, he will give me the money when he is done with the program. The program was supposed to last for 3 days, starting from the Friday and ends on Sunday. So, we went to Omlotsi Friday after we did some sales on the streets. We got to the place almost in the evening time and she called the pastor and he directed us to the hotel that he was lodging. We went to where he was and there were other men with him. They appeared to be pastors too. He introduced us to them as his daughters in the Lord and introduced the 2 men as his pastor friends who are also there for the program. We were shown our hotel room and we went to freshen up to get ready for the evening service. The program was very nice and successful. Our pastor was the last person to minister. He did minister on that last day, which is the Sunday. After his ministration, he called us to his room together with his friends. It was a very big room, it even had a hall. It was like an apartment kind of thing. So, there were plenty of food and drinks when we went there. I was surprised to find alcoholic drinks amongst the drinks that were in the room. After all, I thought pastors are not supposed to take in alcohol. But then, I didn't talk since I was only waiting to have the money to start my business. The pastor told my friend to go and get them a drink from the fridge that was in the room. When she brought the drink, he asked her to serve me first. Since I was the new one amongst them, he said he was welcoming me into his life as a daughter. He said, they welcome anyone that comes to them with a special drink. So that particular drink was meant for me. They went on with drinking and eating. I didn't think any evil or bad for them. So, I took the drink and also started eating. I didn't see anything again. When I woke up, I was naked on the bed in our hotel room. But then, my friend was not around. I checked and realized someone has had his way with me. Semen and starchy water were all over my private part. I started shouting and calling my friend but there was no response. So, I picked my phone and called her. But her number was switched off. I decided to go and check at the pastor's room. I went and knocked and the pastor came out. He looked like someone who was asleep. I asked about my friend and he told me that he sent her to go and arrange something for him back in Durban. Things didn't make sense to me. I told him about what has happened to me. And he asked me to keep calm. He promised to get to the bottom of it. So, he called someone from the reception and started asking him questions about who came around when we might be sleeping. The receptionist said that he came on duty that night and can vow that no one came to where we were. He said that it was only in the morning that a lady from our side came out saying she was going to Durban. The description did fit my friend. Just like the pastor had said. After that, the pastor told me he will get to the bottom of it when we get back to Durban. Because all his friends are also gone. He asked me to go get ready so we can get back. When we came to Durban, he gave me 3,500 rand as part of the money he promised to give me. He dropped me and he went home promising to help me find the truth of what happened. I spent 2 days trying to reach this friend on phone and it was not going through. I went to her shop several times and I only met her assistant.
Like I always say, these are not just stories for story's sake. They are meant for us not to make these mistakes our brothers and sisters are making. That's why we share these stories with you. Let us please be vigilant of some of these people parading as men of God. I know there are genuine men and women of God out there. But then, beloved, let us be mindful of where and who we associate with as our leader. I pray that we learn from some of these stories and live a better life. If not for anything at all, it pays to live a decent and better life. As I always say, we are not here to race with ourselves. Therefore, do the little you can and ask your Creator to bless your handwork. Please let's be mindful of the choices that we make. Thank you for being a part of this growing family. Kindly share your thought with us in the comment section below. And if you are new here, please subscribe, like and share. Stay blessed and be safe.